Hey, this is Matthew Armstrong.
And I'm Victoria Whitehead.
And thank you for joining us on day 35 of our 100-day juice feast. And we have a treat for you today. First of all, check out what's in the juice. In today's juice, we have red bell pepper. We got courgettes. Got a ton of courgettes, well 4 courgettes here. Sometimes I exaggerate, not really a ton, 4 courgettes. We got a nice big bit of ginger. So that will be a real zinger for the juice. And we have some apples. And also 2 heads, that's two fairly large heads of lettuce, all shredded up, ripped up. It's actually better just to rip it up with your bare hands. It keeps more energy in it. When you cut it, it actually cuts the energy of the food. So if you can rip it, then that is even better. I know it's going through a juice, but still ripping it is better. So one thing with combination, sometimes I see folks say, this is what I had in my juice today, and I go, ooh, that's a bit of a funny combination, that's going to react a little bit. So with combining your juices, one way to look at it is, could you cut everything up, put it into a salad, and then eat it and feel okay with everything? And if the answer is yes, then generally it's a fairly good combination. And there are exceptions, but generally that's a fairly good combination. But there are some things that you shouldn't combine, some things you should. For example, greens. Greens, you can pretty much put anything with greens. You can put fruit with greens, you can put like green leafy vegetables, you can put fruit with greens, you can put any vegetable with greens, no problem at all. Red bell pepper. Red bell pepper isn't going to go well with, let's say, pineapple. The two of those, they're not going to combine very well together. Carrots don't combine very well with something. You're not going to put carrot with citrus or something like that. You're not going to put carrot with oranges. It doesn't combine very well. Or you're not going to put carrot with grapefruit or with pineapple or anything like that. So most things combine very well, but some things don't like that. So there's a lot of different schools of thought, but pretty much your greens are going to combine with everything, and then apples pretty much combine with everything. But things like bell peppers and things like that don't combine with everything, so that's something to look out for, because food combinations are important because it causes reactions in our stomach. Okay, let's do the juice. So I have to say the juice tastes, to be honest, palatable, but not one of our really good ones. We just used up the last of what was in the fridge, and while it's good, it's not one of those real zingers where we're just like, oh, that's just divine. But still, it's good, it's healthy, and it's my association is if I know it's all got the right nutrients in and it's healthy, then it tastes good to me. Regardless of what my taste buds might say, I override them with this is just divine. And it is. It's beautiful, and I love it, and I'm just so appreciative of this juice.
Yeah, me too.
Alright, so something that I really wanted to share with you today, and I see it all the time, all around the place, and many people are not aware of this. And what I want to make you aware of is, is the manipulation and the brainwashing and the subtle advertising that the media does. And specifically, I didn't buy this poisonous rag, by the way. But I just picked it up today, and I just saw this prime example on the front page of basically advertising pharmaceuticals. Basically what it says is ibuprofen ibuprofen risk to health, and increased chance of heart attacks and strokes for 9 million daily users. So at first glance, to the untrained, the unhypnotized person, on the hypnotized version, you may look at that and think, oh, no, the newspaper, it's looking out for our health. This is a good thing. And what that does is that it drops the defenses. And suddenly you see the newspaper as your friend, someone who's trying to help you by showing you the risks of certain things. So straight away, you take down your defense and you're completely open to reading this article. And so you read, and it goes blah blah blah. All the different people taking ibuprofen in Britain, all the different statistics and everything. And then it starts to say how that it's risks to heart disease and risks to strokes, and then it says, okay, now turn to page 5 to read the rest of the article. So then you turn to page 5, you select the fences down, and you read through, and it says, as with any drug, there are risks and benefits to be had. Talking these through with your GP will help ensure the benefits outweigh any risks. So remember that one. But first of all, I'd just like to say that drink your juice, and that's far better than the prescription you're going to get, and that is going to also help to prevent heart disease and strokes as well. So it's getting the meat and the dairy out of the system and out of the diet, and taking in the fresh vegetables and fruits. That's what's going to do it. And guess what? There are no harmful side effects to doing that. It's all good. Okay, so you don't need to weigh up the side effects and risks and all this, and then the GP says, actually, there's 10 benefits to this and only 9 side effects. So go ahead and take it. And what actually happens is you take that, and then 6 months down the line, suddenly you've got these other ailments are cropping up and rearing their ugly heads, and that's from all the other side effects. You go back to your GP, and he goes, okay, here's this other tablet for this other ailment you have, and what that's going to do, there are 10 benefits and 8 side effects only on this one. So again, you go away and you take that, and it takes away the symptom of it, and you think, oh great, it's taking away the symptom, it's taking away the pain of my arthritis, and but what else it's doing, it's starting to affect the brain or something, and you start getting depression or something like that, and then 6 months later you go back and says, okay, well here's this other pharmaceutical, take this, and that's going to help you with your depression. And it is a slippery slope once you get onto that slope of taking pharmaceuticals, because there's side effects to them all, or just effects really. It's not side effects, just effects, and the majority are nasty effects. And before you know it, 10 years down the line, after you're taking your first pharmaceutical, the prescription drug, that suddenly you're on a case of them, and suddenly you've got all the days of the week marked out where you take this and that and the other. Maybe you know someone like that, or you can relate some way. So anyway, moving on. So we keep on reading down and thinking, oh yeah, this is great, understanding this. And then at the bottom, it suddenly says, there's another article near the bottom here, a separate article, and it says, huge rise of statins shows shock toll on nation's health. You go, what's this? And below it shows this box of tablets, and below it says, statins are saving lives. And so you read about this, and it says about, and this is classic, advertising, classic marketing. It shows the social proof. It says about 7 million Britons take them to reduce artery clogging, bad cholesterol. So straight away, 7 million Britons? Wow! So many other millions of people are doing it, then I want to do it. It's just clever mind manipulation. And then it goes on to say, Professor Peter Weisberg of the BHF said, Professor Peter Weisberg, that guy sounds intelligent. So quite often they'll throw in this figure, this oracle who knows the truth, Professor Peter Weisberg, Weisberg, right? Of the BHF said, they've changed the face of heart disease treatment for the better and prevented many heart attacks and strokes. Wait for this. The benefits far outweigh any disadvantages. So you've forgotten what it says up here, but it's in your unconscious mind. Because up here it says, as with any drug, there are risks and benefits to be had. Talking these through with your GP will help ensure the benefits outweigh any risks. And then down here, but you've kind of forgotten that because there's so much in that article, there's so many statistics, your mind gets a bit fried, and it actually gets confusing towards the end. And that's what they want to do. They want to confuse you with these statistics and these names that you don't understand. These medical names, then you go into a hypnotic trance. And then you carry on reading, and it says, the benefits far outweigh any disadvantages. And then right beside it, it says, statins are saving lives. So that is a huge advert there for this new pharmaceutical that's come out. And that's what they're pushing now. They want to push that. Because maybe ibuprofen, it's starting to go down, so they bring out this new thing, and boom, they hit you where it hurts, and you go out and you buy that, and all these sorts of side effects and everything. But why do they do this? I think, why does the newspaper do this? And the reason that they do it is because they don't make so much of the money from selling newspapers. The biggest money they make is the investments they have on the stock market, mainly in the pharmaceutical industries. The media, the newspapers, they have most of their investments in pharmaceuticals, pharmaceutical companies. So, and they are basically run by the pharmaceutical companies. So they put these subtle adverts in, throughout the papers, and you'll find them all the time. This is a front page headline to sell this, to shoot their stock up so they make more and more money. So basically you're being manipulated when you read this junk with all this hypnotic advertising, and it's very, very clever. You've got to give it to them. They're very, very clever, but once you see through it, you see through it. Once you see through the veil, that's it. You've gone down the rabbit hole, no going back, and you kind of see everything of how it is, and that is garbage. Okay, so that's a little bit of a rant, but now you've had your eyes opened, and if you already didn't have them opened, and now you shall start to see these things all the time. They're very clever. They're very clever. Some of them are very subtle, but there's a quite a good example there for sure. Okay, so I'll probably rattle on a bit. So will we show a yoga posture today?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just do a quick one right now. Actually, very simple one is sitting. How do we sit? Because we're sitting. Most of us are sitting all the time. And through this society we live in, we're either sitting at a desk at an office or something, and it's quite unnatural to sit as much as we sit these days. And bad posture really affects things. And I read recently that when you're sitting, you put 7 times more pressure on your spine than when you're standing. And this is especially true of bad posture. And most people, when they sit, they'll actually sit back, and their back will curve slightly. And it basically cuts off the energy supply, and it puts a lot of pressure on the spine. Gravity is pulling down so much, but we don't realize it because we live in it. But it is pulling down very, very hard. And once we're like this, then we start to cave in a bit, and then we don't breathe properly. So not only are we putting all this pressure on our spine, our shoulders come forward, our head starts to go down, the neck starts to develop like a lump back there, and we're not breathing properly. We're only breathing to maybe 1/3 of our lungs, and the rest is just being closed off. Our diaphragm is being closed off. So what you want to do, first of all, is you want to take yourself by the crown of the head, by 3 strands of hair, and you just want to lift yourself up. Just be hard on yourself. Lift yourself right up. See what happens when you do that? You suddenly take a big deep breath. Oh God, I've got all these other extra lungs down here. And suddenly you take a big deep breath. You breathe in, the chest expands as well, and your lungs fill up from the bottom, filling up, and suddenly you feel quite different. Shoulders naturally, when your chest comes up, your shoulders naturally go back. You don't need to really think about pulling your shoulders back. And again, you can just take a chest hair if you want, or just take your top and just lift yourself up like this here. Lift your chest forward. And then you're sitting up straight. And this is yoga. This is sitting yoga. And being aware of your physiology, being aware of your body, being aware of what's going on with it. Wondering why you've got the shoulder tension all the time when you're sitting like this at a desk, and just let it loose, let the shoulders drop, just let them completely drop. Lift the chest up, take a deep breath, have the chin in slightly, and from there you can, if you're on a desk, if you're working, you can work like this, and every so often just have a little shake out, and move back and forward like this here, so you're curving the back, then bring it back up again, and that helps as well. Any aches in the back. So that's basically it. Our physiology is very, very important, our posture. And if you're at work and you're at a computer or at a desk writing or filing or whatever you're doing, if you're sitting in a more empowered position, you're going to be much more effective in your job. And so if you're a manager or something and you see all your staff sitting around and they're kind of like lying back like this and everything, they're not going to be that effective. It'd be good to show them proper physiology, proper posture, wake them up a bit, make them aware of how they're being. And it has a bigger effect on productivity as well. Okay, I think that's us. Yes. Okay, well thank you very much for staying with us on that one, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow on day 36, where we've got more cool stuff to share.
Okay.
Okay, my name is Matthew Armstrong.
And I'm Victoria Whitehead. Take care.